What's up?
What up, brother? How you doing?
Fucking great, dude.
Man, I'm good. You're good. It's like a good day out here, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Jesus Christ. I tell you what, this is Guys with Eyes, episode 25.
Yeah, we're already at 25. Holy crap.
It is flying.
Quick.
I'm very thankful for these people right here.
Absolutely.
Yeah. These people are the reason that we do this, because without them, like, we're just talking into a mic and into some little dot right there. And it's just like hearing the feedback that we're getting on the episodes. It's warms my heart personally. So I don't know how it makes you feel.
Oh, I feel exactly the same way. It's definitely one of the best feelings in the world when you get feedback from other people. It's like, hey, this really helped me, or hey, like, you did a really good job with this episode.
And that's the thing too, is like, I've gotten feedback to where like, hey, you should work on this, or hey, like, the sound over here is like really annoying, and it's just like, oh, hey, that's something to point out. Mm-hmm. And that makes us better, because being open to that feedback. I think like one of the timeless things that people forget is like, hey, 2 ears, 1 mouth. Like,
yeah.
Like, hey, if you're not open to that feedback, like, don't ask for it, because it's probably gonna hurt.
Absolutely.
Like, it's gonna hurt something, like your ego a little bit more than likely, and and that's why I'm just like really, really thankful that over the years I've had to learn that lesson, because there's also this one thing to where like you listen to respond, right, instead of actually listening just to listen and listen to the point. Because sometimes, like, it doesn't require a response. It doesn't require you to be thinking like 3 steps ahead. It's like, hey, am I actually listening to this person? And that can make all the difference. Not only in like a traditional relationship, male female, but also like a work relationship, or like,
absolutely,
like, that can make all the difference. Is like being willing to open your ears up, zipping the mouth shut, and listening to the feedback that you're getting. Like, it can change your life.
Oh, dude, I 100% agree. That's something that I feel like I learned decently early, just because I am naturally an introvert, so I'm normally listening. Like, that's what first part of my life where I felt that's where I stayed, because I was comfortable. And I learned that really early, just because it's like I realized that seemed like I was easy to trust for a lot of people, because I did that. What you're talking about right there, I listened way more than I talked to people, and people started to trust me with things that they wouldn't tell other people. I got really good friends from that. So it's something like, being an introvert, I learned that early, and it is very, very effective.
And I bet you that serves you so well in the role that you're in now here at HQ. Like being able to listen to people and listening to their problems, listening to maybe the order mess up, and like, hey, taking a deep breath, kind of calming the situation down, and being able to fix the problem then, because you're willing to, like, not get aggressive necessarily, but to, like, whew, okay, cool, we got something wrong. Let's bring it down a little bit, tactfully, because you don't want to tell somebody to calm down.
That's going to do the opposite.
yeah. And then you're able to, because you are customer service, serve the customer, right? And dude, that's such an awesome quality. I had to learn it. I had a chip on my shoulder for a long time, especially in my early 20s. And it took me a while, even being an athlete, it took me a while to learn that. So over the last couple of years, I've really tried to zone in on that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, dude, there's levels to it too, where
there's levels to this, yeah.
To everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know what you're talking about with, like, not just formulating a response, like just being there to respond. That's where I have gotten into that, even though I learned that lesson, like getting into it. Say you're debating about something in, like, the gym. This is something that I've run into actually decently recently, where you got to check the ego. It's where the ego will come in front, where somebody was like, oh, that's going to hurt you doing it this way. Just for example, I go really deep into the range of motion on everything. You're like, oh, when you put your freaking knees up by your ears on leg press, like, that's not good for you. And that's where I got frustrated. I didn't listen to what they were saying. I just formulated a response. And that's where I checked my ego before that was even done. It was just like, oh yeah, dude, like, some people, I was able to get on both sides. But that's where I think the ego really comes in. You got to be able to check that at the front door.
Dude, sometimes I think, because, like, here's the thing with the ego, because there's a book by Ryan Holiday, it's Ego is the Enemy, right?
Yep. And
it's really easy to say when you're successful, because, like, that book took off, but he was also, like, he was very successful before that. And it's like, a lot of the times the ego actually plays into you keep going. Like, I'm too freaking stubborn to quit. Like that right there is your ego. Like, so it's sometimes it's a dichotomy to where like it's good and it's bad. Like that's 100%, and you have to learn when to lean into it and when to like back it off a little bit. And I truly believe that. Like, I don't think ego is the enemy. Like, if ego was the enemy, I don't think Andy would have built First Form. No. Because like he talks about all the people he wanted to prove wrong, and like to this day, like he says two things. Number one, he wants to see everybody be successful, but he wants to rub it in the face of everybody that wronged him. Like, he'll openly admit that. Yeah. That's his ego. Like 100%. Like, he wants to change the world by helping people get successful and rubbing it in everybody's face and telling them that he did it.
Absolutely.
So it's like it's that dichotomy. It's that line that you kind of have to dance with, and it's a good thing and it's a bad thing. I think Ego is the Enemy is a great book. It makes you open your eyes to like what you might be doing too much of, or like placing your ego too much in. But it also, the concept has been bastardized to be like, ooh, you're supposed to be like chill all the time. It's like, not all the time. It has a time and a place.
Absolutely. Yeah, Andy talks about all the time when he's first building this company, like to get it started, he had to have that head of his ego just all the way up all the time to be able to get it to get us to where we are now. So like in certain times of our lives, we'll have to use that as fuel. It reminds me of good old Relentless Tim Grover, bringing that dark side out whenever you need it, using it at times, but like we talked about, using that in the gym is going to burn you out. Same thing in life. If you use it in life situations, you're going to get burnt out.
And you're going to burn the people out around you.
Exactly. Yeah, that flame burns so bright that you burn yourself and the people that you love. So don't let it get out of control.
Yeah, and I think this conversation is going to go really well. So like you talked about recently how you had to check your ego, right? And I want to throw mine out there. Like, I've had to check it too. Like, I had a big old kick to the old ego when I was out in California last weekend.
Okay.
Dude, like when I go to Spartan races, I'm going to compete, and that elevation and the hills really humbled me, bro. Like I showed up and I was ready. I was like, okay, cool. Like, we're going to do this. And we started at 8,000 elevation. And we just went up. And it was this very steep hill. And I was just like, oh no. My ego had a nice little ego check. Let's just put it that way. But it was probably needed because I was feeling really good after Atlanta went pretty smooth. And then New Jersey went really smooth. So then I was just like, I was due for one. And it really made me check and revise my training and to see where the holes are and to what I had to do going forward. And that's what a good old fashioned ego check will do for you. Now it's just up to me to now revise my training, create a new plan, and to execute on it. And I think that's the thing is like, hey, like when you find that your ego gets hurt a little bit, normally that's something that you can control. And if you're taking a step back and recognizing like, ooh, that one hurt. And then creating a plan. Now I follow the GAPS plan. We've been over this before. It's who am I? Who do I want to be? And how do I fill the gaps, right? Goals, action, purpose, service. Like that's how I do it. It's like, okay, cool. I'm here. I suck at hills, apparently.
Found that out recently.
Found it out recently. I want to get over here. Cool. How do I fill the gaps? How do I get my goals? What is the action I have to take? Is it within my purpose? Hell yeah. And then how do I serve, right? So my service is going to be giving back and telling people how I did this. My purpose is to get better, but not only to get better, is to help other people get better at hills, right? Action, well, we're getting on the stair stepper and incline walking and running, right? That's just the simplified version. And then my goal, of course, overall, is to get better at hills, right? So it was a very good lesson that, hey, I'm 31 years old. I've been an athlete most of the time my entire life. And, hey, the ego check is a really good thing as long as I look at it and willing to accept it. And I am, because I want to get better at running hills.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
dude, I love that so much, that like the ego check on the other side of things, like that's I mean, not only is it needed if your ego's kind of getting out of hand, like you said, it might have been from the past couple races going so well, but I think it genuinely, like the way the world works, I mean, we believe in God. I believe it's God's hand in things, making sure like, hey, this dude's ego is getting out of hand a little bit. We gotta check that. Like, there's gonna be a little bit harder course here for Sully, so he can make sure that he's ready for this big race. Like if Hawaii ends up being crazy freaking hard with hills and stuff, like I think life is going to check your ego if you don't check it yourself. Like,
and the thing with like looking at it from that sense, right? I truly believe that God did do that, because if you don't look at it like he's doing this to hurt you, right? He's giving me an opportunity, i.e. the hills and the elevation, to either dominate it or not. This is an opportunity, right? And now he's giving me an opportunity to get better. So he wanted to challenge me because he knew that like I was getting stretched and I was feeling comfortable, but I wasn't stretched enough. So here's the new opportunity. I'm going to give you a crap ton of hills at elevation and see what you can do. And then afterwards, you're either going to recognize like, hey, you sucked at that, and you need to get better at it if you want to truly compete, or you can just keep on doing what you're doing, and next time you come up against hills, right? Then he's going to teach me the same damn lesson because I didn't learn. I truly believe that you're right. He did it on purpose. He gave me that challenge. It was, but it's not necessarily a challenge; it's an opportunity. I wasn't prepared at that time to take advantage of that opportunity. But if I reflect and trust in him to then take the steps to create a new opportunity and to be ready to dominate that opportunity, then I can. And then he's going to get me again. He's going to get me again. I'm a young guy. Yeah. You're a young guy. He's going to get you too.
Many more times.
That's a blessing, because it's a new opportunity to learn and grow. And I truly believe that. I'm glad you brought that up, because like with Derek not currently on the podcast, like we don't talk about that as much on the spiritual side of things, but that is something that I truly believe
100%.
Is that any curveball that you could go, why God, why? It's not something he does on purpose to hurt you. It's something he puts into your life so that he can challenge you, provide you with an opportunity to grow, to either step into that person that he knows that you can be, or to knock you back a little bit and realize that you have some work to create that next opportunity. Absolutely. Which then creates that next person.
Yeah, I think if a lot of things like that happen to you, that just means you're not working hard enough to get to where you're supposed to be, like to fulfill your true potential. It's like there's things like that are gonna continue to happen. That happened to me for a couple of years, honestly. It's like where I noticed maybe it's not the same mistake over and over, but continually things going down the wrong path just a little bit, where it's like telling me, hey, work harder, work at these skills so that you can go this way. So I think life is gonna continue to tell you that, and in my opinion, it's always God. Like he's showing you the right path, and I think that is what helped me be able to keep a positive mindset through everything. Like it's definitely a little bit different section of things than what we're talking about, but to be able to take those ego checks the right way, you have to develop that positive mindset, and that's super easy for me when I know and believe that like God is leading me down the right path. Like this, like not like we were talking before. It's everything happens for a reason, not like how you don't like that term as much, but I think you can get value from everything.
Yes.
Because of God's hands in everything. He's trying to teach you a lesson here, or show you what's like, hey, you did this wrong. Don't do that again.
Yeah.
And you just slap on the wrist.
Yeah.
And I think that's super important to be able to develop that positive mindset when you have big goals, because shit's gonna go wrong. You're gonna get your ego checked constantly.
It's all part of the game. It's all part of the game. If you're willing to learn the lesson, it's gonna hurt a heck of a lot less. Because if you learn the lesson the first or second time, you're not gonna get to the third or fourth time. Okay? Like that's just like, let's just put it that way. Like it's simple. Like if you learn the lesson the first or second time, it's just like, okay, I got it. I got it. Thank you for the challenge. Let's fix this. It might take a little time, but it takes less time than if you have to learn that lesson again. And that's where like we're big readers here, and the law of attraction like completely switched my mindset on that. I mean, 150 pages, big font. If I can read it in a couple of days, you can read it.
Some pictures and stuff.
Some pictures, yeah. There's some it's freaking great. I love it. And but like that book really changed my mindset, and I think everybody should really read that book because it is such a simple read that it's pretty cool. But I do have a question for you. But first I got a quick story.
All right.
So you said "In God's Hands," right?
Mm-hmm.
And it instantly took me back to Afghanistan, and I guess this is probably fresh in my mind because today is actually the 8-year anniversary of me leaving for Afghanistan.
Oh.
So it's pretty cool.
That's awesome, dude.
It came up on my Facebook memories, and I was just like, oh, today's the day.
Wow.
But yeah, so in Arabic it's inshallah, right? Like it's in Allah's hands, in God's hands is the translation for us. And when we were training the pilots, so my job over there was to train, assist, advise, right? So I wasn't necessarily doing my job in the Air Force. I was working directly with the Afghans, attempting to build an actual Afghan Air Force that can sustain without us. Clearly, that didn't work. We found that out in 2021, unfortunately. But there were some pilots talking, and it was like helicopters, and they were just like, anytime the Afghans like got freaked out or like couldn't figure anything out, they're just like, inshallah, and they'd let go of the stick. Yeah, dude. And the pilots are like, no,
we cannot do that while we're in the air, boy.
My hands,
Yes.
not in God's hands. So like that's just a quick story, but
That
like
is crazy.
not in God's hands like that. You have to have control of the stick, okay? Like it actually works better if you take more control of the stick and figure out what the hell's going on.
Exactly.
Okay, so that I just love that story.
God's gonna be the freaking wind that blows you like off course, so you don't go to your destination.
Exactly. Don't give up. Don't ever give up.
Don't let go.
Jimmy V says that. But you also said something about potential.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to ask you, do you believe potential's limitless?
I think it is to a certain degree.
I agree. I love the way you put that.
Yeah, to a certain degree for sure, because I think each person does have some sort of limit. Like where me and you aren't going to be centers in the NBA. We're never going to be that good at basketball.
My 5'10" butt isn't going to do that.
Yeah, it's like we're both under 6 foot. We ain't going pro. But we do have the ability, like there's certain areas where we can become like, and this is something I think about all the time because like, I don't know if it's a guy thing or just competitive motherfucker thing, but just thinking about like, there's one thing by the end of my life, I want to be the GOAT. I want to be the greatest of all fucking time. I think we all have the opportunity to do that in something in our lives. Like we all are given enough initial like talent in something to be able to take that, but like each person has more of a gap to fill to get. That's how Jocko put it a long time ago when I saw him talk, was it's like skill levels in a game. Like some people, there's a much bigger gap to get to that level 99 where you've maxed it out, but I think everyone can get to that level 99. You have that one thing where you can become.
Dude, I love that. I love how you put that about like getting into level 99.
Mm-hmm.
And like, man, some people might start at like a 70, some people might start at a 30.
Yeah.
But you still got to get to level 99 to where you max out your personal potential. And here's the thing is that I truly believe that my level 99 in some things can be different than your level 99 in the same thing.
100%.
So like my level 99 in basketball, no matter what, is different than LeBron James's level 99 in basketball.
Yeah.
Boy is 6'8" and was 6'4" in high school. Yeah, 260.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah,
He's a
260,
monster. 280.
I mean, I remember when he came into the league, he could grab a 50-cent piece off the top of the backboard. Like that,
God.
just insane,
Yeah,
right?
that's nuts.
That's length, that's vertical, that's power, that's explosion. Your 5'10" boy ain't getting that high, okay? Like it's just not happening. Same with Steph Curry, right? So, like, I'm a good shooter. I really am. I'm not at Steph Curry's level. And I don't think I'll ever be able to get to Steph Curry's level simply for the fact that he started when he was a 3. His dad was one of the best shooters in the NBA ever.
was teaching them from that
from
age.
the beginning. So like
30 years in.
Like my level 100, because I didn't have that training, especially when I was young, is different than Steph Curry's level 100 or 99, the maxed out.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean we can't be successful. That doesn't mean that we can't learn, and that doesn't mean that we can't get better. We are still chasing our personal level 99, our personal potential, and that goes for business, that goes for physical fitness, that goes for any type of sport, that goes for emotional intelligence, spiritual intelligence, financial intelligence, which actually that one might actually truly be unlimited, because we can all earn.
Yeah, I think everyone can hit, like, I mean, there's going to be, like, certain people who get to, like, billions and stuff like that where people aren't. But I think everyone can be that six-figure.
Yeah, we can all earn
whatsoever.
Somehow. Yes. You just have to learn how to play the game, right? And that game, thousands of people have written about how to get that game. You just kind of got to have to run the game plan, right? So I love how you put that. And thank you for that. Because I was curious how you think on it, because I truly think the same. Like, hey, like, yeah, I think potential is like kind of limitless, but it's limited. It's like you can get to that level 99, then you're not going above 99.
No,
that's your max out potential.
Like you said, your 99 might be different than Steph Curry's 99.
Yeah, trust me, I know what's different than Steph Curry's 99.
But I guarantee
it's the same.
You could beat his ass on an obstacle course race.
Yeah, and I'm probably stronger.
By a lot.
Yeah, and I'm probably stronger. Like,
that's not what he needs for his thing, though. That's where it gets me to. We just talked about this recently.
Exactly.
You probably thought of the same thing I'm about to say, but can't compare yourself. Comparison is the thief of joy. Like, I think we mentioned it before, but you can't compare that. Not like you're 99 to, like, if you're a boxer, and you can't compare your 99 to Mike Tyson when he was in his prime. Nobody ever is going to ever look like that again. And for anybody that follows it, he's also going to knock the fuck out of Jake Paul, whichever Paul brother.
I think it's Jake. You're just throwing it down right now. You're calling it? When is that fight? I thought they did weigh-ins.
It's like July or something.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's crazy far away.
Did they not just have a, a press conference?
Yeah, I don't know why they had it so recent, because it's not like tonight.
I thought that was a weigh-in.
Hey, maybe if this comes out, guys, and it already happened, it might, I don't know. It usually is the week of. Dude,
seriously, we live under a shell sometimes. We don't know what's going on.
I just see the stuff pop up, and I'm like, oh yeah, this is cool.
We're just like, another day at HQ. Let's go back.
Okay, that got me kind of fired up on that, though, because Mike Tyson, if you have seen anything of him recently, like, there'll be just glimpses of where it's like, oh, like,
dude, that old man strength is real.
Oh yeah.
Even if you only have it for 10 seconds, like, he just has to catch him once in that 10 seconds.
It's the mentality that keeps coming out, because somebody will ask him something. So a reporter was talking to Jake Paul on one of them. It was just like, when are you gonna fight real fighters? And then Mike Tyson's like, what'd you just call me? It's like, you call me a fake fighter, dude? Like, he started yelling at him. Like,
that'd be scary.
Oh yeah, dude, for Mike Tyson. And the other scariest thing, because if you ever seen, he said the most wild shit in his interviews when he was a kid, like 22.
Well, I mean, he was on cocaine, so
yeah, just a little bit. But yeah, so they asked him his diet, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm eating raw meat." Like, what? It's like, I'm eating raw meat. It's like, well, my opponent's gonna be raw meat, right? So I've been eating raw meat. I'm gonna eat him because I'm gonna kill him. Jesus, what? 100% serious, and it's just like, I think he woke up the old school Mike Tyson.
Have you ever seen the interview to where he's scared of himself?
I don't think so.
Dude, it's so crazy. I'll find it and I'll send it to you and I'll link it below. But like, he almost gets put into tears. Actually, he might be tearing up, because he literally talks about how he doesn't want to be that way anymore.
Oh dang.
Yeah, how like. And it scares him so much. I just got goosebumps.
Yeah, no, I already started.
Dude, it scares him so much because he knows he's capable of doing that again. Yeah. Of just, like, being an absolute monster and killing people. Yeah. Like, legitimately, like, this dude...
Like, actually going through with it. Joking.
Dude, we talk about, like, rearranging somebody's guts when you hit them in the stomach. Like, this dude literally shifted somebody's rib cage. Can you freaking imagine having that power in the old right hand?
That's ridiculous.
That's insane.
But punch in the rib.
But the interview is so... it just gets, oh my God, it's so emotional. I'm just thinking of it. The one I saw was in black and white. He's just tearing up because he's just like, I don't want to be this anymore. But he just knows that beast, he has to live with him.
Yeah, and boxing, like he legit has to do it.
Yeah,
and not be who he is in that ring.
That's why it's so crazy seeing him like take a couple of these fights now, in the last few years, because it's just like, holy Christ, like he's allowing this to come back into his life after so many years of trying to bury it. Yeah, and you see it in his training, like he is. That monster's still back. It's in there, and I just want to see him catch him once.
Yeah, like, I can't wait for it. Regardless of what happens, it's gonna be crazy to see. Because two real quick things with it, but with the Roy Jones fight that he had a while ago, they actually agreed to no headshots.
Oh, so, they did. I didn't know that.
Because Roy Jones is old as shit. They knew Mike Tyson had like 40, 50 pounds on him though. Like Mike's on.
That's true.
Mike's on TRT, growth hormones, got every stem cell available in the world injected into him. He's feeling good. So yeah, that was
Well, that's what's crazy about this fight is that it's a sanctioned boxing fight.
It's going on
like
Mike
in Texas. Yeah. Well, it's going on Jake Paul's record, too.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm just saying that for Mike's record because he's one of the greatest of all time. I wouldn't want Jake Paul being on my record. Mike, it's like hell no.
I think the paycheck that they're gonna get from this, it's gonna be okay.
Yeah, it'll be worth it.
It's gonna be okay.
It'll be 100%.
And I've talked to some boxing friends, and they're just like some of them are split on it, right? But majority of them are like, hey, like they have brought the Paul brothers. They have brought more publicity and more limelight to our sport in a good way that, like, yes, we want more of them. Do we necessarily agree with them not fighting traditional boxers? No. But at the same time, like, boxing was a dying sport for a while there.
It absolutely was.
Yeah, like, I mean, if you think about it, some people consider him the pound for pound. But what's his name? Floyd Mayweather.
Oh, yeah.
He made a career out of running from fights. Like, not only running from the top opponent, but when he was in the ring, he ran a lot.
Yeah.
And then he'd counterpunch, and he always had...
Yeah, like, he'd fuck you up, but he was known for defense.
Exactly. And so, like, people kind of fell out of love with the sport and the Pauls and bringing in a completely new audience because of their YouTube audience and stuff like that. Like, they've done some really good stuff for the sport. Absolutely. And it's kind of reinvigorated the sport in a way that nobody's been able to do, you know, with Canelo and Mayweather and all these guys. Like, now you have the Pauls and it's new. And this is the first big boy fight. You got to put on the old big boy pants because if you get caught by that old man, he's going to get you. So
yes, sir. But yeah, no, I 100% agree with that. With him actually like making a difference for these fighters, actually improving it. And like whenever Jake Paul talks about freaking like fighter pay and things like that, he's spoke out about trying to get these guys paid better too, especially like in the UFC where, I mean, I'm sure he sees it from a whole different perspective than us because he can get paid millions and millions for every one of his fights. And you see like in the UFC, you get paid, it's like $14K or something to show up, and then you get your bonus if you win. If you lose, that's all you got, and that's probably how much it cost you to do camp. So you're at $0 for a professional fighter in the best organization. Okay, I want to, before we get done though, I don't want to forget about something I remembered about Mike Tyson.
Oh shoot, yeah, tell me.
So that dark side that we're talking about, that monster that comes out.
Yeah.
I remember on Joe Rogan's podcast, he actually talked about what happened to create that monster essentially. And it was so crazy to me, and I will never forget. But basically when he was very young, I think it was 12 or younger, so it was before he became a teenager. Basically someone gave him a whole bunch of acid. Big old dose of LSD, and basically during this trip he thought that, I think it was either like a tiger or a fucking lion, that he was a tiger or a lion or gorilla or some ferocious animal. His hallucination was that he was one, and that's what he became whenever he got into the ring. Like that was essentially like what made him flip that switch. I'm sure it changed a little bit over.
Of course,
years,
yeah.
Said that's what his initial like thing that gave him that super dark side was that trip where he thought he was an actual wild animal. I was just like, what like that explains it, and that also makes you realize how powerful your fucking mind is. It's like when you believe, like he believed he's a ferocious animal. He became the best boxer of all time.
Nobody wanted to get in the ring with that man.
No.
Nobody did.
I don't know why Jake does now.
Because he thinks he's old.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's watching that those practice rounds that he's hitting, and it's just like
some he is a little slow still.
Well, yeah, but I think he's just like, oh no, he better not catch me.
Oh yeah,
because yeah, dude, it's gonna be crazy. I'm excited for the fight. It's gonna be a good time.
Absolutely.
And yeah, well, you gotta get back to work.
Yes, sir.
And I think this was a fun little episode because we covered a wide variety of topics, and we started out hot, right? Mm-hmm. We talked about our egos, talked about God. I love talking about God. And then
got some fun stuff.
We talked about some potential, and we talked about some fun stuff at the end with Mike Tyson and some boxing. So, Six, I can't say how much I appreciate you.
I appreciate you
more than you know. I appreciate every single one of you. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share if you got any value. And I'm really serious about commenting on this because that's how we get better.
Absolutely.
And that's all we're out here to do. We want to get better, and we want to help you guys get better. So like, comment, subscribe, share. That makes our day. And hopefully we made a little bit of your day. Good deal?
Yes, sir.
Appreciate you, brother.
Appreciate you.